ठीक है। वेटिंग रूम नहीं, अभी तो रहने देते हैं वेटिंग रूम। नहीं मतलब रहने, मतलब हटाना नहीं है। हाँ ठीक है ना। चलो। Today we have with us our eminent speakers, Mr. Kush Tyagi. He's from Government E-Marketplace. And we also have Mr. Angad Patangrai from Amazon Global Selling. So before we start our session, I request our co-chair, Mr. Bharat Singh Mehta. He is the co-chair for Punjab State Chapter, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he is the CEO of HR Synergy New Delhi. So I request Mr. Mehta for his welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ramnit. Friends, a hearty welcome to you all to this program on new marketing avenues and government procurement being organized by the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Punjab chapter. Friends, this program is a part of a series of workshops that Chamber has been organizing for last 4 months to help MSMEs in various areas. Particularly, this project is for MSMEs which have done innovative work in the area of innovative work and manufactured products, innovative products in the area of fighting COVID-19 pandemic. You will agree that MSMEs are the vital and important part of the economy, and without the support or without the contribution of MSMEs, the economy will not be able to grow at a fast pace. Friends, as I told you, this program is basically structured for organizations which have done innovative work in area of fighting the pandemic. So what we have done is organized workshops, and this program is going on for last 4 months, and I have been organizing a lot of workshops in the area of quality, in the area of productivity, in the area of marketing the products. We have done a lot of work in terms of marketing to the prospective buyers through or by organizing the B2B meetings for the manufacturers. So we have organized meetings with academic institutions, hospitality industry, healthcare industry, etc., etc. This particular workshop, today's workshop, is basically for ensuring that MSMEs who have done this innovative work are apprised of how to sell in the current environment, which is technologically driven marketing techniques. As you know, that in a normal marketing activity, what you do is you sell to people you are able to contact through traditional means. But in this area, e-marketing, we are able to reach smaller pockets. We are able to reach areas which we may not have are, being able to penetrate earlier through the platforms created by these e-marketing organizations. And in this context, we will be talking about the Amazon, how to register on Amazon and how to get the benefits of selling on the Amazon, and also the Punjab government e-marketing portal. These are two very important portals that we will be introducing you during the current program. This is the 14th program that we are organizing in this series, and this is the concluding program with which the ZIZ Innovation, MSME Innovation Initiative would be concluded. Friends, as I told you, MSMEs are very vital for the organizations, for the country's economy, and therefore, PhD Chamber, let me briefly introduce to you the PhD Chamber as well. PhD Chamber is a national apex chamber set up, established in 1905, and has been in existence for 115 years or more. This chamber focuses on MSME because it realizes that MSMEs are the backbone of the economy. And as far as the PhD Chamber is concerned, it has 101.3 lakh, 130,000 direct as well as indirect members whom we are serving. We represent to the government on their behalf. We represent to the, on issues of interest or anything that affects the industry, trade, and establishments. We are the canvassing, we are the lobbying partner for these industries. Friends, we have the benefit of having a very good and learned faculty for today's program. We have Mr. Kush Tyagi. He is the business facilitator for Punjab e-government place, has over 15 years of experience, and is presently looking after GEM for Punjab, HP, Ladakh, J&K states. He has earlier worked with the Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Defense. The vast experience that he has in the GEM area will really benefit all of us in understanding how does the government procure through these portals, and how does the government help the organizations market their product through this portal. We also have Mr. Angad Patrangai from Amazon India, who is the business development manager for Amazon Global Sales. He looks after products such as home products, toys, sports, office stationery, etc. The vast experience that Mr. Angad has will also help us in, in knowing as to how can we market our products through the e-marketing portals. So once you are aware of one organization, there are various organizations who have created platforms for e-marketing, and you can take benefit of them and market your products through them. So friends, let me once again welcome you all to this program, specially designed for organizations which have done creative or innovative work and developed products which are meant for fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. And it would be a wonderful experience for all of us to benefit from the experience of the two learned faculty members that we have. Uh, I extend a hearty welcome to both the gentlemen. Please join me in welcoming both of them. And I would now request Ms. Rimrit Kaur to take the program further. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarks. I now request Mr. Kush Tyagi for his presentation. So you may share your screen.
Thank you. And good afternoon, everybody. I'll just share my screen now. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. So you can show the full screen.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can start.
So should we start?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And good afternoon again, to everybody who's attending this online session for MSMEs and other people from the industry for selling in the government and the e-marketplace in the government as well as in the private area, which I think the other speaker will take up. So I'll just start. I'll cover what GEM is all about. GEM, as the name suggests, it is a government e-marketplace. We started way back in 2016. It's not a very old organization. It is a special purpose vehicle under the Ministry of Commerce. And this was started with the vision in mind that all government procurement, which was happening at that point of time, was fragmented in a lot of senses. Different government agencies, be it central government, state ministries, PSUs, autonomous bodies, all of them were taking out tenders and buying through various different modes. However, the process, although the basic process was similar all across the government, but there were other things which were involved, and there were different media which they used to take care of. And there was no homogeneity basically, which was one big concern, and it caused a lot of problem to the vendors also who were participating. Then apart from that, there were other constraints also when it comes to the government. So the government thought about these and also looked at the point that IT infrastructure was well developed within the nations to the extent that every government office had at least a single computer and a internet connection. So GEM came into the picture, and initially for 1 year we functioned only for central government ministries. And seeing the success of the portal, next year in 2017, an important amendment was made to the General Financial Rules, which is also known as the GFR, and wherein rule number 149 was amended, and it now stated that procurement of goods and services by all ministries and departments will be mandatory for goods or services available on GEM. So with this, it was mandated for central government to procure through the GEM portal. And over the years, the ambit of this rule has been extended to state ministries, autonomous bodies, and finally to the PSU sector also. If I talk about Punjab specifically, then Punjab has adopted GEM in 2019. They have made the same change to the Punjab financial rules as per GFR, and they have included it in their own buying rules, so that GEM is now adopted, enhanced by the state bodies. GEM has three mottos: efficiency, transparency, and inclusiveness. We are trying to make the erstwhile system of tendering more and more efficient as each day passes by. And I'm sure many of you or some of you who have worked with the government would now understand the difference and also see the amount of time taken, which has decreased a lot since GEM has come into the picture. Earlier, any tender which used to be issued by the government would approximately take a timeline of around 3 months to complete. And it was a tedious process for the officer involved as well as the people who are participating. A set of documents were issued. The vendor had to sometimes buy it, then go through all of them, and then fill up a tender. All of that process from the vendor side as well as from the officer side, that we have to open the tender, look at the technical bids, then open the price bids, and then award, have been made very simple. And now it can be done within a timeline of 15 days. That is how efficient the system has become. Another important point is the transparency part, which let me tell you, a system is so efficient and transparent that a government department does not know who they are going to award the order to until and unless they have placed the order. So before placing the order, they would not know the details of the vendor whom they are going to give the bid or the order to. So that is how transparent the system has become under GEM. And apart from that, we have also taken other steps to make the system transparent. Details of all the vendors have been masked now. No department or no person can now know the details of the vendor. Similarly, the third point, and which is specifically pertaining to you also, to the seller specifically, that we aim at inclusiveness. And when I talk about inclusiveness, what I mean is that every and each person can easily come and participate on the procurement process. We strive to make the system such, because it is a portal where the buyer and the seller both meet each other. Now, for the buyer side, we have controlled it. We have made various rules and regulations so that they have to come and buy on the portal. But if sellers are not available on the portal, then in that case, the portal will not succeed. It is bound to fail, because if there is no seller, then what the buyer will do? So to make the portal a big success, we are trying to make it as inclusive as possible. And for buyers and as well as sellers, I think this point is more important for buyers, but sellers will also understand. We have made the buying process very flexible. We have given different options of purchase to the government officers, like bidding, reverse auction, direct purchase, L1 purchase, PAC buying. So all of these options are there for the buyer, and through that they can easily spend the budget which has been allocated to them. Now, you can see that we have a pan-India reach. In fact, nearly all of the states and union territories have now made MOUs with GEM, and they have jumped onto the bandwagon of GEM, except if I think only Sikkim is left now. Apart from that, all the other states and union territories have adopted GEM. And on the left hand side, you can see that to reach out to various vendors who are or sellers, which I will call them from now on, we have tied up with various industrial association, and PhD Chamber of Commerce is one of them. Apart from that, there are others like FICCI, SOCAM, CII, SIDBI, IMA, etc., which we have tied up with, so that our reach to the sellers, who are an important part of GEM, is maintained. And then on the right hand side, you can see that we have tied up with various banks and financial institutions, because as a seller, I'm sure you understand the importance of the financial transaction which are being carried on the portal. And in fact, one of the biggest problems most sellers face with the government is the delay of funds which are due to them. And to curb this, we have tied up with various financial institutions so that things move smoothly and in a timely manner. Apart from that, we have tied up with various ministries and bodies like MC, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, PFMS department, Aadhaar, Income Tax Department, MSME Ministry, to make the process smoother when it comes to the government side also. Some of the statistics, if I would like to share, if you would like to look at, and it would tell a lot about the success story GeM is, and also what is the potential as a vendor which you can reach out on the portal. So if I talk about buyers, and when I say buyers, these are all the government bodies, central, state, autonomous, PSU, state PSUs, all of them involved, and totally are numbered at 51,725. Then there are sellers and service providers, total in strength more than 16,33,000. Products, there are upwards of 26 lakh products which are currently listed on the portal, and it is a number which increases daily. All of these numbers which you see rise nearly every day, and this if I we meet, let us say if we talk again tomorrow, I'm sure all of these numbers will change. Total number of orders, if I talk about, there are upwards of 64,84,000 orders on the GeM portal, which amount to total transaction value of upward of 1,04,000 crores. Apart from this, we also have different product categories. We have upwards of 16,000 product categories. So that means there are more than 16,000 different products which are registered on the portal for you to sell. And if I talk about service categories, there are 182 service categories which are further divided into subcategories. Then service offerings are upwards of 97,000, and MSC sellers and service providers which are registered on the portal are upwards of 6,86,000. And the total order value, which we just looked at, 104,000 crores. Out of that, more than 57.57% of the orders go to the MSCs, or the micro small enterprises. So this is just an insight in how GeM is working currently. I talked about the transaction of 1 lakh 1 lakh crores. We have crossed 1 lakh crores on the system, and soon in the coming years we are going to or we are poised to cross 8 to 9 lakh crores. This is what the government has in mind, that of all the transactions happening on GeM should reach 8 to 9 lakh crores. So that is the potential which we are targeting. We've already reached 1 lakh crores as of now. Then if I talk about MSCs, because MSCs is one thing which we are targeting today specifically, and I am sure most of you are aware with the new definition of MSC. I'll just cover it a bit. For now, micro enterprises are the ones which have an investment of up to 1 crores and a turnover of 5 crores. Small enterprises are those which have an investment around 10 up to 10 crores and a turnover of 50 crores. And of them, every enterprise is for medium, it is considered 250 crores. But the public procurement policy serves only the micro and small enterprises, that is till a turnover of 50 crore rupees. And it states that out of all the orders which a government body does, they have to do 25% of the total ordering of goods and services from the MSCs. And out of that 25, 4% is reserved for MSCs owned by SC and SCTs, and 3% for women entrepreneurs. Apart from that, other benefits which accrue to MSCs are tender sets completely free of cost, exemption from earnest money deposit, purchase preference of 25% of the quantity till L1 plus 15% value upon agreeing to match L1 price, and 358 items which are exclusively reserved from the MSCs. So this policy has been made under uh, Section 11 of the MSMED Act 2006, and all of the points related to this policy have been inculcated in the GEM system. And when buyers or government organizations come and order, they have to go by all of these rules. And as I told you earlier, out of the statistics showed that instead of 25% on GEM, MSCs are able to do a business of more than 57%. So this shows the effectiveness of the portal. Now, some of the key advantages for sellers, and I'll not cover all of them, but the major ones which I think are linked for a vendor to succeed on the portal and otherwise also. So firstly, you have direct access to all the government departments. One big difference with GEM and other portals is that some portals are limited to the state. If I talk about the e-tender portal of Punjab, then the CPP portal that is only limited for central bodies. And there are other portals like Defense Procurement Portal or the Railways Portal, IREPS, which is specifically dedicated to defense and railway. But GEM is for all government bodies. So at one place you have access to all the government body, be it in Punjab, be it in Himachal, be it in Karnataka, or the whole length and breadth of the Indian subcontinent. Then apart from that, another good thing about the system is at one account, you can sell any number of products, any number of services, or a combination of both. So if I'm a service provider for printing, that nothing stops me to sell shoes on the portal. I should obviously have the requisite paperwork involved, but otherwise I can sell anything on the portal. There are 16,000 different categories of product. I can sell any or all of them. And similarly with the services also, and I can sell both of them at the same time. There's no stopping for anybody. Then a very important, and I think the most important thing with the system and the flexibility which we provide is three things, which is firstly, obviously the pricing. The pricing is left on the market condition. GEM does not control the pricing. Like earlier, there was some government bodies or rate contracting or other options wherein the price was supposed to be the lowest. But now in GEM, the price is open to the market conditions and the price can be changed for the same item in different subsequent bids. Apart from that, also the number of products which I need to sell or service, the least number which I want to offer is decided by the seller. For example, if I am a pencil vendor on GEM and I want to sell pencils, so I can choose that I get a order of minimum 100 pencils, not less than that. Similarly, the area where I want to sell is again free for me to decide. It could be a small town, it could be a district, it could be few pin codes, it could be states, it could be all of India. It depends on me. And how should I go about selling? It is completely on me. So basically three things: price, quantity, and place. These are left on me by the GEM portal. Apart from that, another important thing with the portal does is we have created a very strong vendor rating system. So good vendor behavior is rewarded, and wrong type of behavior or creating any insanity in the marketplace leads to penalization of the vendor. These are the different procurement options on the GEM portal. And these are divided basically into four: direct purchase, L1 purchase, bid, RA, and PAC. So if I talk about direct purchase, any order till 25,000, and that is the total cost of the order, is called direct purchase in GEM terminology. And from 25,000 to 5 lakhs, it is called as L1 purchase, which is wherein three quotations or three different brands or manufacturers, whatever you can call them, are compared on the portal. Portal will suggest an L1 and the buyer will have to place that order to that L1. Above 5 lakhs, there are bids and RA. Two options are there. A buyer can select any of the two, and bid is very similar to a tender, wherein you have to give a technical bid and a price bid. The buyer will shortlist the technical bids and then open the price bid, and system will show a L1 or the lowest one. And in a reverse auction, it is, as the name suggests, completely reverse of an auction. The person who has in an auction, the person who bids the most gets that item. In a reverse auction, the person who bids the less will get the order for that particular item or service. And lastly, we have PAC. PAC is basically proprietary article certificate, and in PAC, a particular brand can be chosen by the buying authority, and they can place an order directly to that particular brand or manufacturer, whatever you are choose to call it. We have also given the option for sellers to create secondary users under them. There are often times when a vendor does not have time to always sit on the portal and look through, because there are a lot of orders which are flowing through the portal, and if the vendor chooses, they can create secondary users under them. The secondary users can, on behalf of the primary user, participate in bid, upload products, do payments. All of these roles can be given to a single person or different person if the vendor chooses to share it with them. And these are completely in control of that primary vendor. If they want, they can give this functionality. Otherwise, they can choose to not give it also. So this was just an introduction of GEM, and since I have a limited time to talk, I'll finish this presentation now. In the question answer session, I will take up all the question answers. If they need to be answered right now, I can take that up also. That is for the, I think.
Sir, we'll take the queries in the interaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was all from my side.
Thank you so much, sir, for your very elaborative and informative presentation. Now, moving further, I invite Mr. Angad from Amazon Global Selling for his presentation. Mr. Angad, over to you.
Thank you, Rimji.
Yes, sir, you can do your screen sharing now.
Yeah, sharing, just a minute.
Yeah, you already have the rights.
Hope my screen is visible.
No, sir, it is not.
I think someone else is sharing screen. I'm getting message. One participant can share at a time.
So
I have already shared the screen.
mhm.
Share the screen. It's showing my screen is in sharing mode. Can someone else confirm if they can see my screen?
No, but we can't see your screen. Is anyone else using your link? Then maybe if you have shared your link with anyone, then there could be some problem. Anyone, if you have shared your link, now we can see.
Okay.
But it
Thanks,
is
Ramneet ji.
showing me.
Mm,
Now, yes, now I can see, yes.
okay.
Now it's visible.
Okay,
You
let
can
me
show full
start the
screen, yes.
presentation. Sure. Thanks, Ramneet ji. Thanks,
Okay, thank you.
Kush. We'll start with the presentation.
Yeah.
Today we will discuss taking local made in India products global with Amazon Global Selling. In short, Amazon Global Selling makes selling in any of the international markets, be it North America, Europe, Middle East, Australia, as simple as manufacturing in India and selling in any of the local Indian city. As simple as that. We'll see how that works. Today's agenda is first the e-commerce export opportunity that exists for Indian MSMEs. Second, overview of the Amazon global selling and opportunity for Indian exporters. Then opportunity to create global brands that Indian manufacturers are already making and creating their own brands. Getting started with Amazon global selling, the operations, how to start selling on Amazon. This will be covered here. And finally, the success stories of seller on Amazon global selling. So we'll first start with the opportunity. So total global opportunity in 2020 is $1 trillion. Out of that $1 trillion, $300 billion is for Indian MSMEs. And the markets where this opportunity is present is USA, UK, Germany, Australia, France, Spain, Japan, and Middle East. And Amazon is having marketplace in all of these markets. So that is the biggest advantage. So status of Indian MSMEs in 2018-19, they had share of 49% in export. Vision is to achieve 60% share going forward. Within this export, top categories are textile, leather, toys and sports, apparel, jewelry, Ayurvedic supplements, beauty and home decor. So the point to note down is there is a $300+ billion e-commerce export opportunity for Indian MSMEs. We'll see the overview of Amazon global selling. We have done total $2 billion plus cumulative sales till date, till 2020 year end. There are 70,000 exporters who are actively working with Amazon global selling, which is a 35% year on year growth. We are active in 17 international marketplaces spread across North America, Europe, Middle East, Australia, Japan and Singapore. Amazon is operating 175 plus fulfillment center, which are large warehouses just to fulfill the customer orders. And all of our exporters, sellers can take benefit of these warehouses. So no need to build your own warehouse or sales team or offices in any of these countries. And major point to note down, there are 300 million customers worldwide who are buying on different Amazon marketplaces. So in summary, there is already infrastructure in place of 175 plus warehouses, access to 17 plus marketplaces, customers from 200 countries and 300 plus million plus customers. So international sales trend for MSME selling globally. How this works, 47% year on year growth in GMS, that is the sales value that merchants are selling under Amazon global selling from India to different marketplaces. 34% year on year growth in prime enabled product. That means there is a growing trust among exporters, manufacturers, that those who operate with Amazon global sales, and they're sending their product to Amazon warehouses in different countries. That growth is 34% year on year. 400K plus customers bought products on important marquee days such as Prime Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, highlighting the sales volume and importance of these events in sales current calendar for the customers as well as for the seller. And we have close to 834 crore pati sellers with Amazon global sales. Sellers who are doing more than a crore in a year. So I would request my colleague Bhavya to take over and introduce us with the upcoming slides.
Hi, Angad. Thank you. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, Bhavya.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So talking about taking the local products global via Amazon Global Selling. What global selling does is it enables MSMEs to create global brands with the local made in India products. It gives direct access to hundreds of millions of customers, like Angad was talking about in the previous slides, who are present worldwide and are buying on Amazon platforms online. And it helps MSMEs grow their business and improve profits. MSMEs can take advantage of the peak seasons, the holiday seasons, whether it is Christmas in US, there's Black Friday, Cyber Monday. All of these sales periods are very important for sellers from all over the world and from India as well. Then MSMEs can utilize Amazon's warehouse and logistics network, like Angad was talking about the fulfillment centers present worldwide of Amazon. Indian sellers can directly take advantage of these. Also, MSMEs can export to multiple countries, incurring only operating expenditures, and they don't have to invest any capital expenditure, like building a warehouse or building selling capabilities in destination countries. All they have to incur is operating expenditures. Angad, next slide, please. Yes, these are the few brands, few local brands who have gone global via global selling, and these are all Indian sellers. These are internationally popular brands and across multiple countries, which have become successful through the global selling program, and they are generating multi-million dollars of revenue annually. They have scaled up to become multi-million dollar brands on various international platforms. For example, there's Badam Tea, which is a 100 crore plus premium tea brand. There's Clifton Heritage and Estalon brands in the leather category. Then there are other popular Indian brands that, I'm sure everyone has heard of, such as Fab India, Biba, Dabur, ITC, Wow Skin Science, Himalaya. These are all Indian sellers selling on global selling platforms and selling millions of dollars of products annually. Next slide, please, Angad. Yes, these are the top exporting cities on global selling. In the north, you can see New Delhi, Indore, Gurgaon, Noida. These are the top exporting cities. Similarly, in south, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Coimbatore. In the east, starting from Kolkata, Patna, Bhubaneswar, Jaipur, Dabgram, Ranchi. And in the west, Jaipur, Mumbai, Surat, Ahmedabad, Udaipur, Pune. All of these are top exporting cities on global selling. Now, there are a lot of emerging cities also, as you'll be able to see on the right-hand side. These are Jodhpur, Ludhiana, Varanasi, Patna. All of these cities are emerging cities who sellers from these cities have started doing really well on global selling, and there are a lot of emerging brands from these cities. Next. Coming to the seller success stories. So starting with the first brand, California Design Den. California Design Den is a homegrown Indian brand. It is based out of Mumbai and it deals in bedding and allied bedding products. They have been selling up globally across North America, Europe, UK, and Middle East on Amazon. So it's an Indian-based seller who entered global selling and now is selling internationally to all of these marketplaces via Amazon. And they have grown their business and they've driven their business very successfully on all of these platforms. Next slide, Angad. Yes, coming to Zia Fashion. Zia Fashion is a brand from Surat. They have also become successful via global selling, entering global selling. They have over 400 products that they are selling on Amazon, stored in Amazon fulfillment centers and being delivered to customers in the international marketplaces. Next slide, please, Angad. Yes, coming to the brand Samadhan. Samadhan is a wellness brand that launched with yoga products and sleep masks, but they eventually pivoted to COVID products when the pandemic hit, such as masks and shield. and they were able to scale very massively and sell all of their products on the international marketplaces. They drove their business very well through these COVID products, and they are continuing to do well on Amazon.com. Coming to the category growth, as you can see on your screens, the category growth for all of the categories is very healthy and upward of 35%. So for textiles and which consist of products like sheets, bed sheets, kitchen linen, handicrafts, the category is growing at 37.5%. When it comes to apparel and jewelry, the category is growing at 42.7% year on year. When it comes to leather and toys, the category is growing at above 37%, which consists of educational toys, leather bags, leather wallets. And coming to beauty, Ayurvedic, food, dietary supplements, this category is growing at a 38% year-on-year rate. Next slide. Yeah. Coming to the category growth of COVID products. So COVID products fall under health and personal care and health and household. As you can see, these are the top product categories like cloth mask, 3-ply mask, safety face shield. And this category, health and personal care of COVID products, is disrupting the market. There's disruptive growth of 1,412.5% in the category year on year. Coming to health and household, the vinyl gloves, thermometer, oral thermometer, even these product categories are growing at 932.7%. Coming to the key product categories, other than the ones that we talked about, there's sports equipment, copper mugs, apparel, and books. Coming to leather wallets, home decor, grocery, automotive accessories, there's solid sheets, kitchen linen, toys, towels, apparel, spices, and lastly, jewelry, leather journals, tapestry, home decor, herbal extracts. These are all of the other top product categories being exported. Thank you, Angad. Over to you for the rest of the slides.
Thanks, Bhavya. So we have seen top selling categories and some success stories, and we have seen how fast the COVID related products are selling on platform. Approximately 1000% plus growth rate. That's very unusual, and that's the biggest opportunity for us. We'll see how Amazon global selling works. So we'll start with the number one, number two, that is marked under three responsibilities: seller, Amazon, and customer. So first, seller or manufacturer in India register for their Amazon global selling account in step 2. In step 3, they create the listing and ship their product to Amazon warehouse in USA or any respective country. For example, a marketplace in Europe or Middle East. Once Amazon warehouse receives those products in step 4, the product goes live on Amazon website, local website in that respective country. In step 5, customer buys the product from Amazon warehouse, Amazon website, and then in step 6, Amazon warehouse packs the products and deliver it to.
We can't hear you, Mr. Angad. I think we lost his connection. Mr. Angad, can you hear us? We can't see your screen. Miss Aisha, can you please coordinate?
Remnit, somebody need to call her up, call him up.
Yeah, no, actually he's from.
So I'll take over till Angad is joining.
Yeah.
Yes. Till he joins, I'll just explain the slides.
No, Bhavya, you will complete the entire process. No issues. Just go ahead and complete.
Okay. So Angad was talking about how the process of global selling works. What he was on the point of sellers manufacturing their product in India. Once the product is manufactured and seller registers as a global seller, seller ships the products to Amazon fulfillment centers in all of the countries, in all of the destination marketplaces, US, UK, etc. Then over there, the Amazon fulfillment center receives the product and stocks it. and the listings go live on the platform, and the customers start seeing the product on Amazon.com, and the orders start coming in. When the orders come into Amazon team in that particular international marketplace fulfills the order. They pack and ship the product to customer, and customer receives the product within minimum 2 working days if he or she is a Prime customer. Customer is satisfied with the product and rates it on Amazon.com. Amazon's 24/7 customer care handles any queries that the customers might have with respect to the product, and the seller receives payment for the product in his or her local bank account in Indian rupees. So all the seller has to do is manufacture the product, register as a global seller, and ship the product to Amazon Fulfillment Center. Then the Amazon team in that destination international marketplace takes care of everything, and the seller receives the payment on the sale of the product. Now, what is the process to start? The seller has to do the registration. They have to fill in basic details with payment information. They then have to list their products. They have to list the details of the products they want to sell, and then choose the delivery option, as in they have to confirm how they are going to handle logistics. For registration, these are the 4 basic requirements. The seller requires an email ID. They require a credit card with international transactions enabled. They require a valid business address, and they require a VAT number or a VAT ID, which is applicable only for Europe and Middle East. For other marketplaces, this might not be required. Coming to the listing creation, this is an example of a listing on Amazon.com that one of the Indian sellers has created. Sellers need to make sure that the images and videos are of good quality, the pricing information is correct, there are legible and understandable bullet points, product description, there are keywords and product titles in place for a listing to be appropriate. Now coming to automatic translation of listing for international marketplaces, listing in German, French, Japanese, etc. For that, you just have to select the listing you want to sell in a specific country and submit it, and all the necessary language translation is done automatically. So again, for Indian sellers, it becomes very easy to sell to marketplaces such as Germany, Japan, etc. without taking the pain of translating the listings. Now coming to fulfillment. There are 2 options for seller when it comes to fulfillment. One is the fulfillment by Amazon, and one is individual couriers that are merchant fulfilled. We'll talk about fulfillment by Amazon. Here, Amazon provides end-to-end cross-border logistics service for Amazon sellers. There's a standard service for the FBA shipments. At the origin, that is, if the Indian seller, the courier partner is going to come for a door pickup, collect the export documentation, and help in customs clearance. Then it depends on the seller whether they want to ship via air, whether they want to ship via ocean. Both the options are available. And at the destination, there's import documentation required for destination's custom clearance, and there's door delivery to Amazon warehouse. So this is what the Amazon's logistic partner is going to do for you. And with the products that you send to fulfillment centers, you are eligible for Amazon Prime benefits, that is 2-day shipping. Now coming to benefits of this particular program, that is when you send your products to Amazon fulfillment centers. Products are eligible for Amazon Prime benefits. All the last mile logistics is handled by Amazon. The services help the business grow quickly because the orders are fulfilled in a timely manner. You can fulfill orders from other channels as well. And there's customer support provided by Amazon. So you don't have to take care of any of these aspects. Amazon is going to take care of everything, all of these benefits. Now coming to the cost of the North America marketplace, there's a monthly subscription fee of $40 per month attached with a global selling account. And there's a referral fee when you actually sell the product. And that is dependent on the category that you're operating in, whether it is books, consumer electronics, jewelry, apparel. Every category has a different referral fee. This is just a snapshot of the pricing structure. Of course, the detailed pricing structure is also available on the link mentioned, amazon.in/sellglobal. This is the FBA fee for the North America marketplace specifically. So this is just an example of the order fulfillment fee that has to be incurred, which depends on the shipping and the packaging weight of the particular product that the Indian seller is selling. Coming to other services, there's advertising. Advertising services available for a business which helps in making the products discoverable, which is very, very important when a new seller is starting out on the platform. Amazon understands this, and that is why the exporters are offered a wide range of options to advertise the products. And it helps in increasing sales. It helps the new product launches in generating reviews and product visibility. Few examples of these options are sponsored ads, promotions, deals, coupons. Then we have a feature called the Seller University. The Seller University has a series of free training videos that help sellers learn how to sell on Amazon and guides them. So if the seller has any doubt with respect to whether it is advertising, fulfillment, preparing shipment, they can just go to Seller University and they can look at those free training videos and train themselves to do all of these tasks. Coming to other services, Amazon Business, Indian sellers also have access to the B2B buyers portal, where you can reach business customers on Amazon, and it helps you in selling in bulk. So you offer bulk pricing and quantity discounts and engage with B2B customers via Amazon. Coming to the next service, that is the service provider network. So Amazon has built a network of trusted third-party service providers who offer a variety of services for all stages of exporters' life cycle, whether it is in terms of logistics, whether it is in terms of VAT, taxation, IP protection. We have an extensive network of trusted third-party service providers who help you probably navigate through all of these hurdles. Just for an example, if you require product photography to be done for your products, we'll always have a service provider that can help you with that. So there's a service provider network that Amazon has established to help sellers, probably take care of all of these aspects. Now coming to FBA export, at extra charge, the FBA export program helps exporters expand their business globally. Amazon helps sellers identifying eligible products for FBA export. They help you fulfill international order, handle import duty, custom clearance, and international buyers pay international shipping cost and customs duty. And coming to Amazon Handmade, Amazon is very particular about customers and their desire for handcrafted goods. Artisans from 80 countries, including India, are offering their products under this program, Amazon Handmade, and they are selling their craft on Amazon. These are artisans from various categories like baby, beauty and personal care, shoes and handbags, stationery and party supplies, toys and games, etc. So this is another service that is available for the Indian sellers. Now, for someone who is already selling on Amazon India, there are a lot of sellers who have already made their accounts on Amazon India and are successfully running their businesses. They can go international with linked accounts. So you can link your Seller Central account to the international marketplaces. Then you can list your products and you can start selling internationally. It's that simple. You can sell in 17 marketplaces at a discounted subscription fee. You can navigate between any marketplace from a single sign-on page when you link the accounts, and you can review and manage your sales orders. You can check your buyer messages from all marketplaces just at one platform. So the entire program is designed to keep the ease of the sellers in mind and ease of business in mind. These are the few third-party service providers given as examples. Imaging partners, enhanced brand content partners, we have trademark procurement partners, we have product testing partners, international returns partners, we have instant credit card partners. So there's a host of service providers offering you all of these services. Now coming to the logistics services, Amazon sellers can reach out to all of these service providers for end-to-end logistics. This is both for the Amazon fulfillment center model, that is fulfillment by Amazon, and it is also for the merchant fulfilled network. So that's Pota, FedEx, DHL, Aramex, UPS. These are the logistics service providers of Amazon. Now coming to international markets to export to other than America with global selling. So Jeff Bezos has claimed that Amazon's global footprint is going to be increased to $10 billion of Make in India goods by the year 2025. That was all about global selling.
Thanks, Bhavya. I think thanks for stepping up. I think some issues on Angad's end are not able to attend. Yeah, Rimneet ji, I think you can take over and we can start with the questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for the presentation. And now we open house for queries. Participants, they can show a raise of hand. We can unmute, or you can write your queries in the chat box, right?
I have in the meantime a small question.
Yeah, we have it, Mr. B.S. Anand. Sir, you can ask your query, please.
My question is regarding GEM.
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate about vendor rating system? What are the parameters, different parameters for vendor rating?
Sir, can you hear my voice?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear.
So there are basically 4 parameters for vendor rating: coverage, timely delivery, quality of order fulfillment, and reliability. These are the 4 parameters on which you are rated. And apart from that, rating is done only by those government departments which have bought a product or a service from you. It cannot be done by any random government department, only by departments which have done a transaction with you, to put it simply.
So how frequently this rating is done?
It depends on the number of orders you get.
So only the latest rating will be displayed over there?
No. Oh, your aggregate rating will is displayed.
Okay. The second question is regarding new product suggestion facility.
Yes.
So what is that and how it will help the MSME?
See, earlier what used to happen on GEM was that new product category could only be created by the buyer or a government department. They only can write to us and ask for a new product category which needs to be created. However, now we have extended this facility to vendors also, all kinds of sellers, be it MSC and otherwise also. So you can
suggest the product.
Yes, you can. What happens is when you switch it, when you click on request, system will download an Excel file in your computer. You can fill that up along with the parameters of your product or service, upload it there only, and it will come to our team. We'll look into it, and then we will carry out the requisite paperwork and etc. which we need to do, and then we'll make that category available on the system. However, one thing I would like to tell you kindly, because this particular thing has been misinterpreted by a lot of other people also. If you are creating something which is only being made by you, a single product which is only being created by you, that might not be listed on the portal. Because a lot of people come, in fact, there were a few cases when they said that, sir, why is our product not being listed? Because that was only made by them in the whole of the world. It was a patented product. So GEM is for your general goods and services, not specific goods and services.
It can be registered if it is more than one, or there's any minimum requirement. If these many people, manufacturers will be there, only then it will be registered on the portal.
Can you just repeat what is? I didn't get you. What exactly what you said?
You are saying that if only I am the only manufacturer of that item, then it will not be registered. So
the product
what is
will not
the
be registered.
criteria? How many people should be there? Manufacturers should be there.
for all government procurement, what the general rule is, there has to be at least 3 vendors.
Okay.
Hmm.
Then who decides that this product will be registered or not?
See, what happens is, if you look at the form which we send, we also ask for 2 other sellers of that same equipment.
Okay.
And what happens is, after you have sent it to us, there is something called a consultative meeting which happens, but we float this to all other government departments also, that this is a new product category which we are thinking about. If there is any input by any other government department, they should send it to us. Right?
So, GEM does some activity that this new product is intimated to the purchasers, buyers.
Yes, if see, we also ask for government orders if you have had any in the past.
Okay.
Right, basis that we talk to different government departments. In
But
fact,
it is a new product now. Government buys after years.
Then,
products.
sir, so if you are, let me put it this way, if you are looking to upload a new product category, I would request you to, or I would suggest that you should talk to a government department. If they write to us, it will be much easier.
That's the problem, actually. Nobody takes the initiative for these things.
Then you can
For a new product, na?
write to us. We will also look into it. We will see them that
The government, I can say, government can save lot of money by replacing the new products.
Yes, that is why we have opened it up for sellers.
But again, the problem is that you are saying that it should be supplied to some government departments only then.
And basically, even if it's not supplied, we want to see, is there a demand of that product in the government? See, you might think that it's a very good product and the government might need it, but no government department needs it. Then it is a different scenario altogether, right? So we have to see that there is a demand of that particular product in the government or not. Even if 10 government institute or 20, whoever there are, for example, there are some chemicals which are there on the GEM portal, but those chemicals are only bought by a few agriculture institutions, which are, let us say, 20 or 13 whole of India. But there is a demand from there. So similarly, if there is a demand for your product, then obviously it will be listed on the portal. But if no government body wants to buy it, then it is very difficult for it to get listed.
And regarding that star rating, there's any level that before that level, purchaser will not consider that product if the rating is down?
That is for the purchaser to decide.
Okay.
GEM does not have a guideline about that.
No guidelines are there. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tyagi.
I have a small question. Rimit, can I come in?
Yes, sir. Yeah, please.
Okay. I have a small question to both Mr. Tyagi as well as Mr. Angad. Though you have explained that the process of registration and supply of products is quite streamlined, but some of my friends have expressed that at times, particularly, for micro industry, I mean, the bigger industries, there is no problem because they have the technology or IT department or at least somebody who knows IT. But when we are talking about the micro industry where they do not have access to technology people in normal course, they find it difficult in registration and processing their the supplies. So what sort of a handholding is being done by GEM as well as Amazon on this for this area?
Shall I go first from Amazon?
Kindly go ahead, not a problem.
Yeah, thanks, Kush. Yeah, so see, on we understand, sir, that not everybody is 100% tech savvy or is able to, understand tech in a way that people in cities or urban do. But for most of the micro industries, for not only in registration, actually, a lot of our services includes in a way that we will have to, well, tech is involved in a higher level compared to a normal, retail selling. And for that, we have multiple third-party services aligned, where they will provide services in such a way that even if you have a basic understanding of computer, that is enough. Those third-party services will provide the necessary requirement, which will help in get people understanding the system as well, and also deliver the products that they already have. And we also have team members from our team who will handhold the manufacturer or seller right from beginning of start of registration to successful launch. At each step of the way, they will guide them and support them so that they are able to overcome any handicap if there is with respect to tech, or not only tech for that matter, any issues with respect to exporting their products to multiple marketplaces. Thank you.
And
Thanks
if
a
I
lot.
talk about
Yeah.
GEM, then we have a helpline in place, which we call the help desk. The numbers are available on the website. You can call us anytime from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, Monday to Saturday. There are people to handhold you. Apart from that, we take care of training. Every week we have buyer and seller training both. So you can also go online, click on the training calendar, select the date which you find suitable, and then you can register for the training session. And there the complete training, how to upload a product, how to register, everything is there, and that happens every week. Apart from that, although it's COVID, so we are not doing that currently. Otherwise, I myself we used to organize camps along with Government of Punjab. We have organized camps in every district of Punjab. That is an exercise we tend to do as much as possible. But currently, due to the corona situation, physical meetings have been, all of us know that we tend to not go for physical meetings. So we're trying to do this online as much as possible.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
So, Mr. Tyagi, there are some queries in the chat box. People are asking regarding L1 system in GEM portal.
Okay.
And OEM panel management.
Okay, I think somehow I am not able to see those queries, but I'll answer the first one. L1, see, basically L1 concept, if I talk in just L1 is the lowest one, the person who has given the lowest bid or the lowest price for that particular item or service. L1 buying is generally from 25,000 rupees to 5 lakh. That is also a mode on the GEM portal, and in which we have to compare as a buyer, as a government servant or government officer. I have to compare 3 different products on the portal, 3 different makes, 3 different brands, whatever you want to call them. And after comparing that, system will generate an L1 basis the inputs which I have given, not basis the 3 products I have selected. It could be 4 different products also. So since we are working with Amazon also, this webinar is with Amazon also. So like in Amazon, there are some filters which you put for the product to be further segregated. Similarly, we have filters on GEM, and when you put that, there will be some results which will be shown to the buyer. The buyer may choose any 3, but system will show a fixed L1 basis the inputs which we have given. They cannot choose from which 3 the L1 has to be.
Sir, I'm interrupting the queries. They're saying I'm talking about run L1 system.
Okay, run L1 system. Okay. So what happens is that is run L1 is only in the case of services. So in a service, generally what we see is that there are multiple L1s. There could be 9 L1s, 9 people code the same, because and that happens with a few manpower services and other kinds of services, security services, where the government has fixed a minimum wage, daily minimum wage. So when there are multiple L1s, there are 2 options with the government department: either to choose a L1 themselves, or run L1 option is there, wherein when they click on it, system will pick one. It is like a lottery system. One L1 will be picked out of all the L1s, and he is the one who will be awarded that particular contract. And second, I think the question was of OEM panel.
Yeah.
For sellers, there are on GEM, there are two kinds of sellers, service providers and people who sell products. Now in products, there are further divided into manufacturers and resellers. So for manufacturers, to be on GEM as a manufacturer, you have to take something which is called the OEM panel, or original equipment manufacturer panel. That is what it is called. And for an OEM, there are some requisite things which you have to submit to us. Earlier, there was a mandate of giving a copyright registration or a trademark registration. Now that limitation is no more there. There are three options which are given. One, if you have the trademark registration. Two, if you have applied for the trademark registration. And three, if you do not have a trademark registration, but you are the original manufacturer of that product. So now, basis any three of them, you can register on the portal. And apart from that, for an OEM, you or for any reseller, be it for a product or a service, you also have to get a QCI or a Quality Council of India assessment done. And for that requires some X amount to be paid to QCI. And it is different for resellers and OEMs. However, if you are under the exemption, you will get an exemption, but you have to get that verification done from QCI. Then only you will get the OEM panel.
Thank you, sir. So, Miss Dimple, you would like to, you can ask your query. You can unmute. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, ma'am, I would, sir, I would really like to ask you one thing. I've registered on the GEM portal from last 2 months, but then, you know, there was no such category defined for my products. And I have already asked for one category. So we are basically into STEM and robotics education, where we would like to list our robotic kits. But from last 2 months, I have got no reply, and I'm not, you know, getting my category registered on that. So I really need a help on that.
Okay, ma'am, there are a couple of questions if you can answer me. Firstly, are you a startup or you're a normal MSc?
So we are under MSc ME also, and we are a startup as well.
Okay, so for startups, we have special categories involved, and I'll help you. You must have a product ID, right? Which you have a LIB number. When you had sent it to us, there would be a LIB number for your request, right?
LIB number.
Yes, it will be there. I'm sure it will be there. Whenever there is a request which has been generated, there will be an LIB number. So with that LIB number, you can write to the help desk. If you have already written to the help desk, then they must have raised a ticket for you. You can write down my email also. I'll in fact in the
So
chat.
you can write in chat.
Yeah, I'll write it in chat.
So I think I have not got any such numbers. Still, I'll check with my team, those who were, you know, trying to register us. And I mean, the thing is, we have no point of contact or communication. You know, where do we check with them? We are mailing them, but
I will just show you. I'll just make my screen visible, and it is for other people too, just to understand how GEM works. I'll just show you some things. My screen is visible now?
Yeah, sir.
So this is the GEM website, gem.gov.in. You go to the bottom of the page, and there are two important links for all the upcoming vendors. One is the training link, and other is the need help link. In training, this is the training calendar, which I was talking about. And there is the training module also, wherein you will find all the.
So you are on mute.
So where I was talking about the training module. So this is the training calendar. These are the trainings which are being held in this month, 9th, 12th, 16th, 24th, and the 30th. So 2 every week. And then apart from that, there is something called a training module, wherein how to upload your product, how to register, how to take part in a bid, how to create an invoice, everything is there. So you can go to this, and in the sellers there are both audio video files like this, and a presentation in a PDF. You can download all of them. So this is for registration with PAN, with Aadhaar, profile updation, catalog management, bid and RA, everything is here. Then apart from that, as ma'am had asked, there is no contact point. When you go to contact us, there will be helpline numbers as well as an email ID, wherein I am asking you to kindly write your email.
So we have tried this, but frankly speaking, I'm not getting any response from
No, no,
last
no.
2 months.
That's okay, ma'am. That is why we are here. I'll help you out. Have you written an email to helpdesk-gem@gov.in?
Yes, yes, we have
So
written
there,
mail
if
address.
you have written an email, they will have replied with a ticket number.
Let me just check. Nisha, have they replied with some ticket?
And kindly, I'll just share my email ID. You can send that response again to helpdesk and keep me in CC. And I will take that case up personally.
Sure. So can I get your number so that, you know, me and my team, because my team member was doing that, if could be, you know, if you could just share.
I will
that.
also share my number here, but I would request
Or
everybody.
you can get in touch through us. We can,
Yes,
you know,
yes, kindly
connect
do that.
you
Yes,
with
yes,
Mr.
that will be
Tyagi.
better. Yes. So you can get you can take my details from Mr. Mehta or Miss Ramneet Kaur. They have my details. She has my details rather. Miss Kaur has my details. She'll share it with you.
Fine, sir. Thank you. So I'll take that offline then.
And I've already given my email ID on the
Email
chat.
ID, yes.
Yes, email ID I have noted down, but I would really like to talk to you, sir.
Okay.
So
Thank
any
you so
other
much,
query?
sir.
Any other query from our participants? Yes, Mr. Anand, you can ask.
Amazon team, they are told about only global marketing. What is the arrangement for domestic market?
We are part of the global team. If you want to get listed on .in as well, Amazon.in, you can reach out to us on that email ID. We will guide you to the right person, and they will take it forward from there.
We have to write to somebody?
Yeah. I'll share the email ID on the chat. Just drop an email if you're interested to launching on Amazon.in, and just drop an email telling that we are so and so, we want to be interested in that. We'll then take it forward from there. Okay. Ayesha, if you can just type in the email ID that people have to respond on the chat box.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thank you.
Any other query? Yes, Mr. Nishant, you can unmute and ask.
That's a good theme about the Amazon, and it was nice to hear. I have many friends who are already there in the local market with the Amazon, but there was a mention that there is a link to go international. Is it available, and how it is done? Can you just share the link?
So the link is very simple, sir. www.amazon.in/go global. Again, I am requesting Ayesha to share that as well. Using that link, you can go directly register yourself. But if in case you need support, or you feel that there is another you need support, our team itself will reach out to you in the next 2-3 days. These are specialized and experienced business development managers who will guide you into launching into global marketplaces as well.
Just interrupting, can you just brief out small steps here? What are the basic requirements?
So basically, for example, I'll just give an example of basic requirement for US. Okay, so for US, you need an Aadhaar card. One. Second is you need a company bank statement, last 30 days or 60 days bank statement, plus one GST of your company. If you have all these, these three things, this is a minimum requirement for opening an account. Once you open an account, depends on your category. Let's say there are some food related category, then you would need some other certifications like FDA and all. But for home category, let's say you're selling bed sheets or you're selling curtains, for that no, you don't need any certification. If your product is export quality, then you can list the products and directly send the shipment to US in the Amazon warehouse. For that and all, we have again third-party service providers who will get that done for you as well. And then you can start selling on the platform. It is as simple as that right now.
Somewhere it was mentioned that ISO certification is required for export to European countries. Is it mandatory?
No. For European countries, VAT is mandatory. So for each of the currently after Brexit as well, UK is separate and Germany and rest of the Europe is separate. So there needs to be two VAT that is mandatory, but ISO certification all is not necessary.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
So there is one query for Mr. Tyagi. The participant is asking, is there any provision to sell pharmaceuticals and oral care products?
Right. I'll answer the first part. See, pharmaceuticals, as of now, we are only mandated to buy to sell items from all the PSUs by Government of India. However, there is a new notification which has come, and I think we are soon about to open it for all private parties also. That is the first part of your question. And the second part, I'll elaborate with two other people also. See, sir has written that what about oral care products, pharmaceuticals and oral care products? See, with cosmetic license, see, GEM is a marketplace for government buying. And government buying is limited to different kind of products. We generally cosmetics and all that is not being bought by the government. I think that is more for a private market. So there is no category on for cosmetic license. And again, like I told Mr. Anand earlier, even if you ask us to sell such items, there is no requirement of such items for any cosmetic items in the government. So we'll never, create a category for them also ever. But for pharmaceuticals, as I told you, I think there's a new guideline from the ministry. We are soon going to make it live for as far as medicines are concerned, and as of now only medicine, maybe other products also will soon follow, but not cosmetics and such products. Thank you.
There is one query from Hemal Kabani. Yeah, you can kindly unmute and ask.
Thanks for giving an opportunity.
Yeah.
So this is for Kush Tyagi. I'm operating my brand OEM panel for quite some time now, and there are a lot of challenges. First of all, I am not able to download the catalog ID list from the portal. It is allowed in the quadrant 2 category products, and it is not allowed in non-quadrant 2 category products.
Can you, your voice just was, I couldn't follow you.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, so I'm holding a OEM panel for around 40 plus product, and some of them are in quadrant 2 and some of them are not in quadrant 2.
Okay.
So the product which are not in quadrant 2, I'm not able to download the XLS file.
For their product IDs?
The authorizations which I give.
Okay. See, if I talk, so in GEM, there are 4 quadrants. And for quadrant 4, if your products are in quadrant 4, then it is not required for the reseller to take permission from you, right? That is one thing. However, if they are pertaining to quadrant 3, then it is there. So,
see, I can share my desktop. I can share my screen.
I think, sir, I probably think this is not.
I think we can take up, individually. You can
Okay.
share your query. We can take with sir.
Yes, I don't
नहीं
think so this is the
रमनीत
right
जी
platform to.
ठीक है will do but I was
Yeah.
trying to
You can
address
mail us. You can mail us the attachment, and we'll share with Mr. Tyagi, and we'll get back to you.
नहीं I have tried earlier many times but it has not been resolved.
Yeah, we'll ensure this time.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Yeah.
We have another query from Mr. Rajiv Bajaj for Mr. Tyagi. So you can see the chat. They
Yes.
have uploaded their product in the wrong category, and somehow they are not. The status is reflected as pending.
Okay, I think there must be a lot of questions. So if it is pending, take a screenshot of it wherein in your panel where it is shown as pending, and then you write an email to the help desk.
Yeah, any other query from the participants? If there are no queries, then we can, wind up the session.
That's good. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, listening to today's discussion has been a very enriching experience for all of us. I sincerely thank our distinguished speakers for sharing their expert views with us. And our special thanks to our supporting partner, Mr. Gaurav Sharma. He's from GIZ. Thank you so much for associating with us in today's event. And I also thank our industry members and MSME members for participating in the program. And we hope the event met your expectations. And I'm hopeful that today's interaction would yield fruitful results in supporting and promoting MSMEs and enhancing their sales both domestically and globally. So with these words, I thank once again to all our participants, our eminent speakers, for their presence and support in today's event. Thank you, Mr. Tyagi, and thank you, Mr. Angad, for being with us and sharing, and also, answering to the queries of the participants.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thanks to the faculty and, of course, Mr. Ramneet Kaur for an excellent program. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
also
everyone.
request all the participants to, share your feedback. Have shared the feedback link. If you can, share your feedback with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Ganesh and Ms. Aisha for, coordinating the session and speakers for this session. Thank you so much.